So get this, right? The game that some people joke is more concept art than actual game. Well, right now, like today, the teams building Star Citizen are literally teaching their AI how to use a knife the moment you get too close. I kid you not. It's in the August monthly report. It's not just some random detail either, it's a tiny piece of this ridiculously complex puzzle they're putting together. It shows you their priorities, and that's just the beginning of what's hiding in plain sight in these reports. I've been sifting through these monthly write-ups from Cloud Imperium Games since before most of you probably even heard of Star Citizen, and they're wild, honestly. Like you see them, and half the time you're like, "What even is this?" But then the other half, you catch these little glimpses, these lines, and you realize they're actually spelling out what's really coming, not just what's on the pretty roadmap. It's like it's the raw stuff, the kind of info that if you know how to read it, gives you a leg up, tells you how the game's actually evolving under all the noise, you know? It's not about waiting for a new ship to drop. It's about understanding the very fabric of the game is changing. Okay, so what are we even talking about today? It's the August development report from CIG. Think of it less like a patch note, right? And more like a really detailed behind the scenes documentary script for like every single little piece of the game, every team, from the guys making the trees look pretty to the folks writing the rules for how gravity works. It's all there. And here's the thing, this really gnaws at me sometimes. People just, they write these off, you know? Like, oh, it's just dev speak, it's marketing fluff. But it's not. It's a gold mine. It's where you see the threads connecting one idea to another. How, say, better AI perception isn't just about combat. It ties into, like, how patrols work, or how a rescue mission might suddenly become a lot more dangerous. It's all intertwined. And it's messy too sometimes because it's real development, not like those neat little lines on a product chart. Let's just rip the band-aid off and talk AI because wow, the sheer granularity of it. Most folks, they just see an NPC and think, "Okay, that's an enemy." But the AI content team, they're pushing new wildline sets. What does that mean? It's literally what the NPC says in different situations, like if you're fighting them on foot or if they're piloting a ship. It's about bringing layers of dialogue you might not even consciously notice, but which, makes the world feel more tangible, more lived in. And get this, they brought back shop behaviors. So people in shops might complain about stuff, like that region crisis happening in medical facilities. This isn't just flavor text, it's subtle, in-world lore delivery. Imagine overhearing a conversation in a bar about a lucrative mining spot. That's the dream, right? That's what they're trying to build. Then there's the AI features team. They're prototyping gameplay for a boss fight. And not just any boss fight, but they've created new tech to make the process faster for designers. Quicker content iteration while maintaining quality? That's always a good thing. Though personally, I'm not a huge boss fight guy in a game like this. Feels a bit scripted sometimes for something that's supposed to be this big systemic universe. But who knows? Maybe it'll be like that Apex Valakar sandworm they hinted at. Something organic. Something that reacts to what you do, not just some pre-baked sequence. And this close-range shank thing? They fixed numerous smaller bugs for human combat AI, and they added polish features like this. So if you get face-to-face with an opponent, they might actually push you away instead of just awkwardly raising weapons. It's these tiny little details that, when they all add up, they feel right. They make the world feel more grounded. They've also worked on something called group perception. So if you're trying to sneak around and you get spotted by one guy, that guy now communicates with his buddies. They don't just act like disconnected individuals, like in Hitman or Metal Gear Solid, where the guards actually talk to each other. That's a huge step for making encounters feel less like you're playing whack-a-mole. And speaking of weapons, the AI weapon interface and dynamic condition weapons are getting work. Imagine an NPC whose gun overheats and they actually switch to single fire, or know how to deal with a misfire. Think of the sheer volume of work involved in teaching an AI to understand every weapon's state, every nuance of degradation. That's a whole heap of code right there. And finally, for AI, they're prototyping bounding Overwatch. It's like NPCs coordinating to move across cover. So if you've got a squad of enemies, they won't just bum rush you across an open field. They'll cover each other, they'll move strategically. This is going to make combat way more challenging, and in my opinion, way more satisfying. Remember, there's even a tech preview test coming, incorporating FPS AI behavior. So this stuff, it's not just talk, it's brewing. So you've been running those bunker missions, right? You know the drill. Sometimes the AI feels like they were born yesterday. Sometimes they're like psychic ninjas. It's frustrating, isn't it? You clear a room, turn around, and bam, headshot from nowhere. The community, man, we've debated this to death, haven't we? Is it too easy? too hard, but the truth is there's a lot of intricate stuff going on under the hood that explains these moments, and it's leading to something much more coherent. Okay, let's pivot to something I personally deeply am waiting for: engineering gameplay. The report says it's entered tech preview preparation. This is huge, like monumentally huge. It means they're moving the code into a new, stable staging stream. We're likely talking weeks, maybe a few months, not years, until we see this in a tech preview channel. And the specifics they mention? Added ability to limit active items per pool. Thruster temperatures finally visible. Iconography unified. This isn't just cosmetic. This is about giving you the feedback you need to actually understand what's happening on your ship. They've even added damage balance modifiers, so fuses on sturdier ships will be, sturdier, harder to destroy. And the diagnostics, filters, item categories, so you can actually pinpoint the critical issues. I dream of being a dedicated engineer on a big ship. Just imagine running around, fixing things, putting out fires, swapping components, checking diagnostics. It's going to be a whole new layer of gameplay. The kind of gameplay that binds players together. This part of the report gives me so much hope for that. And then there's spawning. They've improved the flow. And this is the line that made my ears perk up. This work paves the way for allowing players to spawn where they were within reason. This means we won't always need beds for logging out and logging in. You'll be able to basically save your place wherever you are in the universe. That's a game changer for exploration. For everything, really. It breaks down those invisible walls. Crafting, too. They're reevaluating the scope for its first public release. What are we going to get first? Will it be ships? Just weapons, armor, meds? We don't know yet, but they're narrowing it down. This tells me actual crafting, not just conceptual stuff, is getting locked in. Maybe a dedicated crafting ship? Personal fabricators? All questions that are getting closer to answers. And the new inventory UI. If you saw the concepts from Star Citizen Live, it's pretty slick. It's now entered development. They're doing the prep work, setting up the new canvas. They said it's a complex UI, so it'll take a while, but it's officially being built. Hacking gameplay. More options added to teach players how to use it, plus bug fixing. This tells me hacking, the actual mechanics of it, are pretty solid now. Why would they bother teaching us how to use it if it was still in flux? I figure Squadron 42 probably has a lot of hacking sequences, and they're adapting that core functionality for the persistent universe. It's going to tie into data running too, and I cannot wait to see how counter-hacking works. This has been shrouded in mystery for so long, even quantum travel. The team continued to work on implementing the new mechanics. Not much detail there, but it's still progressing. Those updates are essential for improving the game's flow and sense of scale. No idea when we'll see it, but it's on the list. FPS radar and scanning. This is big for me. Additional progress. The designers can now define custom scan data. And here's the kicker. AI can now react to being scanned, and players will be able to identify if enemy NPCs have a radar equipped. So if you ping a big, wide ping, it's not just some invisible wave. It could reveal your presence. And you can tell if the guy you're trying to sneak up on has the tech to detect you. This opens up so many tactical possibilities for exploration, bounty hunting, and just general stealth. And finally, the transport refactor is still ongoing, especially for dynamic destinations like instanced hangars. Once transport is done, they move to the social refactor: friends, party, VoIP, org stuff. It's all foundational, every piece built upon another. All right, buckle up, because this next bit, this is really, really something. The R&D team. You know, those folks who've been working on like crazy volumetric clouds and all the super fancy visual stuff? Well, the report says their focus has exclusively shifted to analyzing performance and optimizing the engine and game code. And this is their primary focus for the foreseeable future. Did you catch that? Exclusively shifted. Primary focus for the foreseeable future. This isn't just a side project. This tells me that after years of pushing the visual boundaries, CIG is putting serious, high-level resources directly onto making the game run better for everyone. It's not just about more frames per second either. It's about making the game able to handle more players, more AI, more dynamic events, without just collapsing under its own weight. This is the stuff that gets us to server meshing. To all those long-promised features, it's the invisible scaffolding. This really, really warms my heart. It means they know the game needs to feel good to play, not just look good. And with R&D on it, they're the big guns, the ones with the deepest understanding of the engine. So if they're focusing here, expect significant improvements down the line. It's likely connected to the Vulkan Tech preview too, which is another huge step for optimization. And the UI team? They're swamped, supporting the upcoming gameplay event, making more interactive screens. You see all the UI in the new ASD Onyx facilities? They're dense with panels and interactive elements. They've also officially started on that new inventory UI that we saw concepts of. They even said it's a complex UI that covers several things for future gameplay, so we'll be working on it for a while. So don't expect it tomorrow, but it's in the pipeline. And finally, VFX team already prepping for 4.31. So the graphical effects, explosions, particle effects, all that beautiful eye candy, it's being tuned up for the new release. There was this little line in the report, right, about the narrative team filling in additional details for an upcoming location, honing specifics to help further guide art and design as they populate it with locations and gameplay. And a few sharp folks in the community picked up on it. Is it Nyx? That's what everyone started wondering. Because it says location, but then it says populate it with locations and gameplay, plural. So it's not just one point of interest, it's a whole, place big enough for lots of stuff. It just makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is the next system closer than we think? People have been saying Pyro soon forever, but this feels different. And the other thing, the new ship seller that the narrative team hopes will be a fun addition to the verse. Who is this going to be? Like an individual seller, not just a storefront? Are we finally getting secondhand ships, or a place to sell our salvaged ships, or even just claim them properly? I mean, CIG has talked about all this stuff at CitizenCon before, but this is the first time we've seen it mentioned in the monthly report as active work. It sparks so many questions. So, what does all this mean for you, for me, for how we play the game? Well, a few things. One, with the AI getting smarter, especially with group tactics and close range combat, you might want to spend some time practicing different approaches and bunkers. Don't just rely on peeking corners. Experiment with flanking, with quick pushes, with melee, because the AI is going to start doing that to you. And with FPS, radar, and scanning getting more complicated, be mindful of those pings you're throwing out. They might be revealing your position more than you realize. 2. For engineering. If you're a multi-crew player, start looking at your ship's power plant, shield generators, and thrusters. Understand where they are, what they do, and how they connect. Because very soon, being an effective engineer won't just be about role-playing. It'll be about critical decision-making in the heat of battle or during a long-range salvage operation. 3. These performance improvements. Don't go out and buy a brand new graphics card just yet for Star Citizen. With R&D shifting focus and Vulkan coming, it might be worth waiting to see how much of a performance boost we actually get. You could save a chunk of change. And finally, keep an eye on those old locations that don't have missions now. The mission design team is going back to them. So places that feel empty now, they could soon be hot new zones for all sorts of missions, not just combat, hopefully. Could be little delivery runs, retrieval ops, who knows? So we've gone through it all, haven't we? We've seen the AI getting smarter, the engineering systems coming online, the performance being prioritized, and even hints of new systems on the horizon. Which one of these updates, the ones we just dug into, makes you the most excited to jump into the verse? Is it the thought of finally having a functional engineer on your ship? Or is it the promise of a smoother running game? Or are you just stoked that NPCs might actually try to shank you now? Tell me in the comments down below. I really want to hear what you guys are hyped about. And if you enjoyed this sort of deeper dive, hit that like button, please. It helps a ton. Thanks for hanging out, seriously. It means a lot. Next time, I'm thinking of taking a closer look at that new ship seller they mentioned, and what that might mean for buying and selling ships in-game. It's not just about new content, it's about all the little gears turning together. Star Citizen is this massive jigsaw puzzle, right? And these reports, they're like peeking at the picture on the box, but then also seeing how each piece is actually manufactured. All right, fly safe out there, and I'll catch you in the verse. Don't let the AI get you.